The chemistry behind model rockets in the movie October Sky, produced by Devin Johnson, Evan Cordoville, Cole Tabor, and Joshua Foster. In the movie October Sky, Homer, the main character, is living in a coal town where his father is currently employed and works in there, and he tries and pushes him and his brother towards working into the coal mines, but his brother ends up getting a scholarship for football, and Homer is more interested in science, and his friends are also interested in science, and he has a science teacher that pushes him that towards science, and he gets involved with rockets. And throughout the movie, they find different ways of making the rockets, which includes stealing parts from railroads that aren't being used, and they need to find the right size for their rockets, and they end up entering their rockets into a national competition in Indianapolis where Homer and his friends take first place and brings joy to the city, the town, for something other than coal mining is going on.
So there are two main categories when it comes to rocket engines, and for model rockets, you'll have liquid rockets and solid rockets. In a liquid rocket, the fuel and the source of the oxygen, which is called the oxidizer necessary for combustion, are stored separately and pumped into the combustion chamber of the nozzle where the burning occurs. In a solid rocket, the fuel and oxidizer are mixed into a compound, which is known as a propellant, which is packed into a solid cylinder. The propellant under normal temperature conditions, it's not going to burn, so it needs to have an ignition or a spark to actually burn and propel the rocket forward. We can assume that the model rockets used in October Sky are solid fuel rockets that use propellant simply based off of what they had available to them. So for you can make a model rocket out of many different things to give it thrust. But obviously you need your oxidizer and you need your fuel. And for the propellant, when it's mixed together, you're going to want something that when it's not going to be too dangerous, but at the same time, it's going to need to have a large enough reaction that it will be able to lift the rocket off of the ground. And so you can use multiple different chemicals to make it work. You can at home, you can make a model rocket using baking soda and vinegar, but obviously with the rockets exploding in the movie, we can assume they're probably using some more flammable and some more unstable compounds. So what happens is when the propellant starts burning, it's got nowhere to go. It's trapped in a tube. The only place for it to go is out the exhaust port. And how that is normally designed is while at the end of the model rocket, the exhaust appears very big, the gap between the propellant and the exhaust port is actually very small. So it actually forces all of the gas that is being produced by this burning at very high pressure out the bottom, and that is what will create your thrust.
In conclusion, the science behind October Sky is sound. Homer and his friends obtain materials that they think will maintain integrity during the launch tests. Obviously, some of these failed. The team simply obtains a method of ignition and a solid propellant.
Oh yeah, brother.